plight of Tibet has been a high-profile issue in recent years, kept in the popular eye and ear by both music and movies. Composer Philip Glass combined the two in his acclaimed score for Kundin, about the early life of the Dalai Lama. Glass is also the driving force behind the annual Tibet House concert, uniting artists from both East and West in a cultural collaboration of music with a mission.
There was an invasion and an occupation of Tibet by China in the early 50s, which is still going on. And part of it with the Cultural Revolution was it destroying a lot of the culture. And Tibetan culture was really almost, it's kind of like the rainforest. I mean, we talk about endangered species and endangered environment, but endangered culture is just as fragile and can be just as heartbreaking to lose. Merchant has done numerous times. In fact, she is connected with Tibet House in a more formal way now. And so we have people who have become familiar with it, first of all, through the cultural mission. But second of all, it's become a place, the concerts, I should say, where collaborations and encounters with other musicians can happen.
When I was recording my album, I had a song that I'd written that is a conversation between a man and a woman. And so I needed a leading man. And Dave and I had done some work on Austin City Limits and met, and we'd done some singing together, and it seemed to me that the sort of romantic quality in his voice and the wonderful range he has would work in the song that I had written if he would be willing to do it, and he very graciously agreed.
मेरी ज़िंदगी की जितनी performances हैं वो मेरे लिए उतनी ही
Well, my all performance in my life are really important, but this is the very important, the reason being we are supporting the cause of culture.
So this is goodbye, this is goodbye.
Philip Glass had asked me to do the concert, and he'd also asked David to do the concert, and David lives across the street from me, so he called me up and said, hey, rather than perform separately, why don't we just perform together? And, you know, I think David Bowie's probably the most remarkable musician of the latter half of the 20th century, so if he wants to collaborate, who am I to say no?
The little band I've got together is fantastic. It's like an all-star band. I have my old producer, Tony Visconti, playing bass. A wonderful violinist and her cohorts, Martha Mooks, on the quartet. I've got Moby on guitar, and I've got Philip Glass is my pianist. I started reading and getting interested in Tibet around 1962, something like that. When I was a kid, I went to the Buddhist Society in Eccleston Square in London, and I met my first guru, a guy called Chimi Yongdung Rinpoche, and he became a good friend of mine for a few years. but told me quite alarmingly that I should stop thinking about being a Buddhist monk and continue being a musician. He made the right choice, I suppose.
Andrea Mineo in New York. All right, time to catch up with some of the other stories making the music news headlines this week. Here's The Beat. Edition of World Beat from London. Brooke Alexander will be back next week, but for now, here's a final burst of British talent. Not so much an invasion these days, or a mild insurrection.
I am David Bowie, in tune with World Beat on CNN.